This is how you easily complete Frontline on Impossible with the challenge on. Choose whichever major, but I'm going to use Taunt. First things first, you're going to harvest up in the top right hand of the screen. And you're also going to prepare for a little bit of expansion. Since we are getting the achievement Meticulous Harvest, we'll gather every bit of leaf, so you don't need to worry about small patches. Go for the big bangs so that way you can snowball faster. Word of advice, you want to get a decent sized refuse chamber, since this is where all the refuse will go. Every bit of leaf and refuse starts being taken from the worker chamber right here. When you spend fungus, it gets spent from here. And refuse gets created whenever you spend any fungus. So to make your minims more efficient at processing leaf, you want to keep the refuse out of the way. Which means you want plenty of chambers to handle all of it so they're not staying on the worker tiles. As we clear out the area to the top right, you want to make sure you have a chamber of workers and then make a chamber of medias. This will form the backbone of your economy. This is completely optional, but I'm going to make a small chamber of 7 workers to help out with the eggs. And also give me some extra minims. Horde flies are now spawning, so we're going to change to this rise right near it. We almost were able to clear out this entirely, but we'll come back later once we have an army that can afford the horde flies. We're going to completely clear out this area of every bit of leaf. We don't want to come back here ever again, since it sucks coming back here. By the way, we are just getting our first majors up and running right as the horde flies spawned. Again, what I said about the refuse chamber, I'm going to upgrade the entire refuse chamber to level 2. Again, since refuse is so important, I'm actually going to upgrade it completely to level 3. And whatever extra will go into majors. Now that we've cleared out the risen area to the north of our nest, we will go to the bottom right and take care of this lone stem. Horde flies will spawn here eventually, so we want to take care of it before that happens, just because less horde flies equal more happy. After we clear out this little lone stem, we're going to go down here to this patch of leaves where the army ants like to march. Now, since this is in the path of the army ants, you might be wondering why we're going here if we can just attack the army ants and gather while we're doing combat. And the thing is, we're not actually going to go down here ever. Scratch that, we're actually going to go down here when we gather this bit and this bit, but that'll be later. See, I will show you an ideal way of taking care of the army ants that makes it so you have to deal with a lot less nighttime creatures and daytime creatures. Now, as we start getting a bit of extra leaf for our stockpiles, we want to be careful about not fully spending our leaf, or our fungus, should I say. We want to make sure we have enough stockpiles so we don't die, but also so we can keep upgrading. We want our ants as upgraded as possible. For now, I'm going to start with the medias. And I'm going to make sure there's at least 500 fungus in our stockpiles at all time. Alright, since it is becoming morning, what we are going to do is start gathering the leaves to the north. We missed a piece, but we'll get that later. Like I said, we will go back there again, just later. Alright, the army ants are going to start heading towards our nest. In fact, they're doing that right now. So what we're going to do is we're going to place our marker right outside of our nest and just stay here. We need to challenge the army ants and drive them back. And no, I'm not talking about the level. I mean, we're going to murder them. Once they start grouping up, that is also when you want to charge at them. Place the pheromone marker at the start of their conga line and then challenge them. We need to drive them off. We need to cause as many casualties as we can. And we also can't let them get too grouped up, otherwise it'll be no bueno for us. See, and my Spanish teacher said I was a failure. I know Spanish. I speak Spanish good. I Spanish bien. Our army ants have been driven back, so now we're going to continue gathering the leaf to the north. I think what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to upgrade my medias all the way to level 3 before I start upgrading anything else. Now, I know you are probably thinking I should upgrade the majors to level 3 before anything else. And yes, I could, but that's very expensive. Yes, they're expensive to die, but it's very expensive to upgrade them. I'm going to get the medias to level 3. And then once they're at level 3, I'm going to do the majors to level 2, upgrade the workers to level 3, and then finish off the majors. The reason I'm bothering with upgrading the workers at all is so A, they actually turn into decent fighters, and B, so they don't die as fast, so I don't lose all my food. Oh, and by the way, now that we've cleared out all the leaf on this side of the map, we're going to take out this area of every bit of leaf. And yes, I know, horde flies, no good, but we are kind of out of choices. Oh, and the horde fly, army ants are coming back. Okay, Abandon harvesting operations. I said abandon harvesting operations. No, they're already on the leaf. Never mind. Yeah, we need to take out the army ants immediately, since they did gain enough momentum to push us back again. Okay, army ants taken care of. Go back to harvesting. And yes, I know the workers, when they get infested, move so slow. But again, I don't think it's really a option at this point to not go here. We need this leaf, and it is so close to our nest, it's kind of hard to ignore. Plus, since our medias are actually getting upgraded to level 3, they're not going to get affected by the forward flies, really. Which means less hatching we have to do. Yay! Alright, and just like that, we do have our entire media chamber upgraded to level 3. We're going to hold all of our food now for Whippy. Tonight, she's going to come out and play. Now, believe it or not, this is not my first time recording Meticulous Harvest. I did this achievement right when it came out, and I recorded it. I just never posted the video because I thought I already did. Turns out I didn't. That was also not the first time I recorded this level. I recorded this level once before, and again, didn't post it. Hopefully third time's the charm, eh? And now Whippy is coming out to say hi, so we're going to take it out. We have 1,100 food, should be plenty for her. Whippy got taken out, no problem. Barely touched our fungus. We have 1,100, so we're golden. In fact, I'm going to upgrade some of the majors now. And yes, I want every ounce of leaf. I know it's stupid, but I don't care. I want this achievement the honorable way. The way it was meant to be, to get all leaf. Nah, fine, whatever. I'll get you later, my love. Once again, we're going into forward fly territory right up here. After we've taken care of all the leaf Whippy was guarding. Again, I know, forward flies, no bueno, but it has to be done. Oh, and since the army ants are coming on our nest, we are going to fall back to the nest entrance. We'll have to abandon the leaf for now. For now, we have to challenge our not-so-friendly neighbor and teach them how to be a good neighbor. Just remember, when someone says violence isn't the answer, they're right. It's murder. Murder is always the answer. Why do I have a feeling that clip will be a part of a trial in the not-so-distant future? We're now going to challenge the army ants right about here and get them to not cluster up. And then we'll go back to harvesting our food. You know, once we've driven off the army ants. You know, while we're down here, we might as well get us a little bit of leaf. Give our minims something to do. I'm sure they're completely bored inside the nest with nothing to do. No refuse to move, no leaf to process. That'll be the title of my next biography. Life of the Depressed Minim. Devoid of purpose, bereft of opportunity, speckle-dwarfed of access. We got the army ants on the run, so we're going to go back to harvesting. I swear the army ant spawns are like a faucet. At some point, the faucet just turns off or slows to a trickle. I don't know what causes it. I don't know what's with the army ant spawn mechanics, but they are strange. This level came out years ago. I still don't understand the army ant spawn mechanics. Drive Them Back came out a month ago. I understand it way better than this. All right, the day is over, so we are going to finish collecting all the leaf we can here. And then we're going to go to this area where there's slightly less forward flies. Can't believe we had to wait for just one leaf. Sad times. Sad times are among us. Unfortunately, right now is the fun transition time between day and night, so we have to fight an army of creatures. That is something I hate about this level. Just the sheer number of creatures on this level. My God, there's a lot of them. And during the transition between day and night, there's just so many. You're fighting the day and night creatures all at once, and there's way too many of them for day or night. Never mind both at the same time. Yeah, I really want to get this area out of the way ASAP, because you essentially have to fight two rises at the same time, which is a bit dumb. Don't worry, eventually we will kill everything in our path and finally be able to go into the positive. Right now, we're just maintaining our fungus counts. We can't increase since there's so many creatures, but I think it's just the whip spider left and then we're good. Then we can harvest in peace. Oh yeah, by the way, this rise right here, you pretty much have to fight at least half of the creatures that spawn here. Because one of the spawn points is right here. One is right here, so you don't have to fight these creatures, but you'll have to fight these, which is where most of the creatures spawn. So essentially, you have to fight 3 different areas of creatures just for one patch of leaf. Yeah, I know, it's a little annoying. And by a little, I mean a lot. And by a lot stupid, I mean go back to your ex kind of stupid. But on the bright side, we have our majors all the way to level 2. Huzzah! Totally worth it. And now we got our workers all the way to level 2 too. In fact, I probably should have upgraded them earlier since, again, the minimums will prioritize the worker chamber for food and refuse. It probably would have made things a bit more efficient. Ah well. At least since we killed all the nighttime creatures, we only have to deal with the daytime ones. Let's upgrade the workers to level 3, or at least most of them. Oh yeah, here comes the army. Good. They're coming at a time when everything's a little spread out. Lovely. Fantastic. But our army's so strong we can take them out, spread out or not. Leaf cutter strong. Army ants weak. Leaf cutters. I can take on an army single-handed. Army ants. They were mean to me. Send help. Okay, now we're going to gather all the leaf up here to the very top of the map. Because again, we kind of cleared the area and we'll take full advantage of it by going here. And just like the previous rises, it's a pain to clear out, so might as well take an opportunity now while it is clear. Well, clearish, we still have army ants to deal with. But look on the bright side, I'm upgrading some of our majors to level 3 now. Oh, and I forgot to finish upgrading the workers. Whoopsie! I want to upgrade the workers so that way they're actually competent. Now, I know what you might be saying. Just put the workers back inside the nest. You don't need them out there, and they're more of a liability gathering. And I'm like, yes, but they increase the speed. This is already going to be a 2.5 hour level with the workers. Without them, it gets even longer. Listen, I like you, but I don't like you enough to do this for 4 hours. Look at that. We're not even focused on the army ants, and we're already going to drive them back to their last defensive line. Lol. Leaf cutters so strong, they kill army ants without knowing it. And there we go. We've driven them back to their third line, just as the day is wrapping up. I'm sure when day comes, they'll be at the second line again, but it won't take us long to take them back to their rightful place in the far reaches of the jungle. Alright, we've cleared out the northern area, so we're going to go back and finish up what we didn't get in the top right. Oh, I just realized I never fully upgraded the media chamber. There was one that missed me. Or I missed. I'm sure that leaf cutter cried themselves to sleep every night. They were never picked. Alright, so since the top right is clear, I'm going to return for you, my love. I told you I would be back. I promised you I would return, and here I am. I would battle an army for you. I would walk 10,000 miles. All for you, you lovely patch of 7-leaf. Is this dumb? Yeah, but I want to just because I can. Because we kind of won at this point. We can still lose, don't get me wrong, but we've essentially won. There we go. Back to the nest with you, my love. Alright, since we cleared out pretty much everything there, we might as well take advantage of it and go down here. And also clear out this rise. Oh yeah, so let me talk about the spawning mechanics since we had to deal with, what, our third whip spider tonight? How the spawning mechanics works is there's two different types of areas. The rises and the lanes. The rises, the enemies will spawn from a certain point, they'll run over to the rise and hang out there the rest of the night. But there are some patrolling areas. Oh, and there goes the Congo line. Specifically this area, creatures will roam up and down this entire lane looking for enemies. Specifically us. Oh, and also up here too. So you're pretty much going to have to fight every whip spider that's on that lane throughout the night. So that's fun. But also there's a patrol going on between this lone stem of leaf and this rise right here. They will patrol back and forth. I don't know why, but they do. Even max flash buff doesn't scare me. Although it probably should. See, I told you we'd drive them back even if they did spawn over here. That didn't take long. So a fun fact, this little risen area is so small you should be able to collect all the leaves. But fun fact, no. For whatever reason, this one stem and this giant one don't get collected. Look how close it is to the little ramp. It should be collected, but apparently that's just out of their reach. Alright, we have just upgraded the last bit of our ants. All 3 chambers are level 3. Now you could add more ants if you want. I'm not going to, since I don't want to screw it up. I would rather sit here for another hour than chance that I screw this up and have to repeat the recording. Okay, my friends, we have cleared the last rise. We no longer have to deal with the annoying clusters of enemies. Well, I guess this could be considered a rise, but it's not a rise like the other ones are. We're now going to clear the back area completely of leaf. Oh, by the way, there's this little patch of leaf right here, right next to your nest. Make sure you grab that. I'm just going to send the extra workers out to grab it. It's tricky. Don't forget it. I almost did. So here you can see the conga line forming. Enemies, for whatever reason, spawn from this spawner right here, travel out, down, up, and to this rise right here. This happens during the day too. This is why I do not engage the army ants, well, typically, down here or here, or put my marker right down here, because they will have to travel through the conga line A and conga line B, where there's adult praying mantises, velvet worms, and bush crickets. All of them suck. If you go through this area right here, for whatever reason, you are completely fine of half the terrors that await you. It's a lot less of a terrifying trail. Don't get me wrong, there's still a lot of creatures that want to murder you, but there's less things that want to murder you. And you're pretty close to the army ants anyway. Like, I could literally put a marker right about here, and we'll still engage the army ants, but go through the safe route. And we're not that far from where they spawn, so... honestly, we're doing so good on leaf and stuff that I'm actually going to make a chamber of medias in addition, just because we're doing so well. We're going to be full up on food, and I have nowhere to put that, so... I can have my workers take care of the whip spider. It's not that big of a threat. Time for some extra medias. I'm doing medias instead of majors because they're cheaper, and so I can upgrade them so they don't die to the forward flies as easy. Oh, and they gather more leaf than the majors. Believe it or not, we're doing better than the video I didn't post. In my previous achievement run recording, I only had the 3 chambers. I did not expand at all. Yeah, again, this entire area was full of leaf stores, so that's probably why. We completely cleared the back area, so now we're going to finish gathering from this vine and up here in the top left. Be aware that when you're gathering from this area, the ants will go over here and up this ramp, so just be aware of that. So if you are getting close to completely killing off the army ants before you have gathered all the leaf, just pull back a bit and wait. But luckily they are stopping their raid, so we can keep harvesting without too much worry. That line will fill up a bit in the morning, but by then we should be pretty much done. Let's do one last check. Bottom right, clear. Top right, looks clear to me. Path above the nest, looks clear to me. Northern rise, clear. Southern rise, clear. Southern path, also clear. Southwest path, clear. Southwest rise, clear. This path, clear. Whippy den, clear. West rise, clear. Northwest rise, clear. Northern platform, clear. Western platform, also clear. Vine is for the most part clear, aside from what's by the army ants, but we'll get that once we're challenging them. And then this area right here, that's all we have left to do. Once we finish gathering all this, we are done. Yeah, look at the amount of creatures are spawning in for night and despawning from day. Yeah, it's a mess. There was nothing up here until there was. Oh, by the way, I got that extra chamber of medias all the way to level 3. And we have 1,000 food left for reinforcements, plus whatever I can gather from here. You know, assuming I don't spend it all trying to get there. Okay, we've gathered everything in the northwest. Now we just wait. We're going to send our troops to the bottom left, and we just wait for day. Once day comes, we finish off the army ant menace for good. Remember, if you, for whatever reason, run out of food, you can always delete some ant tiles and get some extra leaf that way. It'll just downgrade them a level, and so you can still keep using the ants, but you'll get some food for reinforcements. If you're in a really bad spot. I'm hoping you're not in that kind of bad spot. There we go. Every ounce of leaf has been harvested. There is nothing on the minimap. Look at it. Look at it. Look at it. Look at it. Day is broken. We have 1,200 food to knock back the army ants. I think we can afford that. And again, worst case scenario, we just sacrifice the extras. There's a reason they're called extras. Alright, here comes the initial barrage of buffed up majors. Yeah, for whatever reason, the majors that spawn in initially are flash buffed to max right away. They don't have to earn it, which I suppose is appropriate, but it's still annoying. And chewed through quite a lot of my army. By quite a lot, I mean pretty much all of it. But like without the flash buff, they're doing next to nothing. We have a pretty small army and we're tearing through them left, right, and center. We only have one major down there. Make that no majors, and we're still winning. See, this is why I gather them up there, because they're just able to spawn camp just as effectively. We don't have to deal with the menace of creatures. And there we go. That is GG. And that is how you beat Frontline on Impossible with the challenge on and get yourself the achievement Meticulous Harvest.